they rank.
Look at
That's
this
how
one
the
right here.
yep. So that's the
Blackface.
blackface. The blackface was to tell us who was behind the dirt.
Mm.
That's why the pale face dressed up in blackface. Because when they kicked the Moors out of Europe, the dirty Moors, they came over here. So they started doing black. That's called a minstrel performance, by the way. Blackface
Minstrel.
is minstrel performance.
Okay.
The minstrels was another way of saying theater back then,
Okay. Minstrel.
right?
Yeah.
So they dress up in blackface. They telling you the story of the they're telling you the story of the ones who was pulling their strings.
Mm.
Now the paleface identify who their handler is by what's called a type in Moorish brooch.
Okay.
This is where they get the name Jews from.
Moorish brooch. BROACH.
ACH, I think.
BROACH. Okay.
Go to images.
Okay. Let me see if it's showing on your end. Oh.
Okay, now this is how they got to be called Jews.
Oh.
Dr. Clark got a lecture. Dr. John Henry Clark got a lecture. He said they was named Jews because of the jewels they wore. This is the jewels when you converted, that the one who was in charge of your family gave you one of these when you representing them, you wear it. You see that lady right there that's coming up on the left?
On the left.
Click on her picture.
This lady right here?
Yep. So she's some kind of European nobility. And she got the brooch on. She's telling you who's her handler.
What? I see it right here. Do I need to make it bigger, or can you see on your end?
It's not up to me. It's up to the people that's watching. You can make it bigger for them. I already know what it look like.
We already know. Okay, family, can y'all see that? They look like us, but they ain't us. Somebody says. Let me make it a little bigger. Yes. Okay. What is a blackamoor brooch? The controversy explored in Harry and Meghan. What? Harry
because
and
they wear them too. All of the royal families of Europe wear these.
Are those the images? Yeah. Anything specific I'm looking for?
When you go through them, you're going to see that most of the brothels is full of pale-faced women.
They are. Yes, I see that.
Okay, now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now. This takes us to J.A. Rogers, who they labeled a quack and an insane researcher, and said he didn't have any alphabets behind his name, so his research couldn't be taken serious, but he got all his receipts in the book. But anyway, going back to J.A. Rogers, Nature Knows No Color, Line, and Sex and Race explores what's going on over here. Right? Now, they had this presentation they used to give about whitewashing the people through amalgamation, forced amalgamation.
The best little whorehouse in Texas. I remember hearing about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's actually a movie about that.
Okay.
I think it's porno though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Syrians is the ones from Prussia. They used to be called the Prussian Empire. Later it became known as Khazaria. Right? That was the original homeland of the Huns that they brought over as servants. Later on, Khazarians, the ones that was the mulatto offspring of those out of those Moorish harems didn't have birthrights. So the children and the concubines who mothered them got together and refused. The women refused sex, and the children refused to do anything that the father said until they gave them some rights. So they felt they would be harmless to just put them over the bank because we still own the money, but they can live off the bank by administering banking. This is where you get your Rothschilds from. This is where you get your Warburg family from. And a lot of these other ones that we think is nobility, they're not nobility, they peasantry, but they've been put in the royal palaces of Europe.
Oh.
And a lot of them are mulatto offspring. This is how they, when they say tracing their bloodline, and nobody in Europe that's pale face can trace their bloodline straight back longer than about 200 years. Because they were all being shuffled around in what we would call them pauper villages, right? And they were setting up these villages for a repository of slaves that was captured in warfare. So the Ottomans coming in from the east is meeting up with the Etruscans coming across the the Iberian Peninsula into Spain. And then what ended up happening is the Europeans figure out what's going on. Why are all of the babies coming up missing? When they finally find the stronghold of where the babies was, we can look at the timeline where they located them because they gave us orphan trains and babies coming in on ships by the hundreds. Right? These ships, you got children coming in with the Ellis Island immigration alone at 10 and 8 and 7 years old. They used to literally put the babies in the mail.
Oh my God.
You go back to the Google and say mailing babies. You're going to see a mailman with a baby in his basket.
Mailing babies. Okay. Yeah, somebody said that the world has been evil. This is heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been the same people behind it. You can trace them all the way back to ancient Babylon.
Where do they come from? Like, are these humans? Are they non-humans?
They're not they not humans.
Okay.
Right. They are what's the word for something? They anthropomorphic aliens that look human. They didn't come here looking like that.
Okay.
They got to die so many times on Earth to take on the physical body. When they first came, they didn't look like that.
Okay.
On a second and third iterations, they suffer from a condition called ichthyosis, severe ichthyosis.
Okay.
Right. If you look ichthyosis up, it's also called lizard skin. Right. But the ichthyosaur was an ancient fish that they named after. That's so we know that the people with the condition been here a long time, but they don't belong here.
So they're not human, and but they do mate with some of the humans, don't they?
They can't have babies with humans.
Oh, they can't. Okay.
Not the real ones. Some of the ones that's hybrids that is from a different alien species, they can mix their blood with human blood. But the other ones, the woman will spontaneously abort every time. Unless you got to go through a whole process to get her to carry the baby to term. And that's how you know who they is, because most of the time they don't have children, they adopt.
Wow.
And they love adopting our children because they think they can change their temperament from being like us to being like them.
Was it you that once said these are the people that's living in gated communities?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how they stay away from the general public, so you can't see their little idiosyncrasies that are revealed who they is. They try not to cohabit with us.
Oh, somebody said that's why they're so big on incubation.
Incubators ancient.
Okay. Now, are these are these the ones that go into Hollywood, or they control Hollywood?
They own Hollywood.
Okay, they own Hollywood.
Okay, now they also have handlers. Like, for instance, the queen of the dam is Kim Kardashian. right? She's the highest ranked Hollywood witch right now
Hmm.
because she's the most phenotypically like a sister out of the collection of the witches, which means that she had to have been here a certain amount of time and died a certain amount of times in order to come back looking like that. Otherwise, she came back looking like her sister, Harvey Weinstein,
Oh, okay.
with ambiguous genitalia.
Her sister, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
He looked like a man, but he's not a man.
okay.
He's what you call a XY female. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, the hermaphrodite?
Not a hermaphrodite. It's a
Hermaphrodite?
difference.
Okay.
If you look up a YX male or
Yeah.
XY female, they look anatomically correct for the wrong gender.
XY female. Oh, it comes right up. Never heard of this before.
These are conditions from I'm not sure. I think they were talking about. I'm not sure exactly what they were talking about. I probably have to go back a couple of comments to find out.
Are y'all talking about what's the woman that married the sister that married Harry, Prince Harry?
Really, Meghan Markle, Meghan something, ain't it?
Yes, Meghan Markle, you're right. I don't see what they're saying up.
Oh, Meghan Markle was the president of France's wife, ain't it?
Marco is the one who married the Prince
Prince
Harry.
Harry?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
She was an actress over here. I never even knew who she was before she got married, but people were celebrating her.
Yeah,
Right?
she was in a couple of sitcoms. Not sitcoms. She married the prince and she became a princess. Before that, she was a duchess. Well, titles of nobility: noble, honorable. Those are all titles of nobility. Esquire, sir. A sir is a knight. That's why they got it. When they get that knight, they call you sir. Elton John, Sir Elton John is his official name.
Okay. Do you have time to answer some questions, Chief?
Yeah, let's do about 4 or 5 questions.
Okay. Let's see. Thank you, family, for joining us. Thank you so much for your donation. Who is this? This is Jay. Says, who do you think will form the new tribes, the government for us? That's a great question. NOI, good Moors, tribes. Also, who is on those crafts? Peace, Dr. P and Rod. Thank you both. Thank you for asking the question. So who will form the new the tribes or the government for us?
The tribes is already here. We ain't never went nowhere. We already formed. We just been misclassified and confused about who our identity is. Right? So we have a contingency of tribal chiefs in Raven Rock, Colorado right now. That's part of the continuity of government team. If you pull the continuity government document, we on like the last 4 or 5 pages of the document in the transitional phase.
Okay.
That's why I used to tell everybody to read it early on. So when I start telling them stuff, they'll see this is a blueprint. This is not, this not accident. This ain't like I just woke up today and decided to give y'all some information. No, this is the ongoing process and the blueprint for the tearing down of a 6,000-year-old system and the reinstitution of a new system. But you can't do it all in one day because it's too much work.
And who's on the ships? Do we know who are on those ships?
Yeah, it's delegates from multiple different places. There's a lot of them that comes bearing gifts because we the first one to break the hold of Enlil, which freed them too. And we only talk about Earth. We Earth going. So we only consider Earth in the liberation fight. But when you realize that the fight didn't start on Earth, they call it a war in heaven, which is a war in the skies, which is a war on the craft that's in the sky. In the war, the ones who was at war got kicked off the planet ship. You're not finna bring that bullshit on this ship. Go back down there where you was at fighting before, and y'all fight it out down there. And it just so happened to be based on gender, not
Mm.
skin color. Skin color is a secondary adaptation to the war. That's why the same people that been ruling, they looked at like us until about 500 years ago. Now all of a sudden they whitewashing us, make us think that somebody else was in power.
Mm.
It's not the case.
Mm. Thank you, Chief. And somebody wonder, is this going to be a paperwork thing, in order for the tribal people to,
No.
okay, no,
Okay, so what's going to happen when we start redistributing wealth? The family farms that we was kicked off of, that they told us was a plantation, and your granddaddy or your grandmama lost it in the sharecropping agreement, or they got foreclosed on, or one of your cousins sold it off. You can't sell the land. So the first thing they're going to do is identify what family line belong to what plot of land. Right? When they
okay,
figure that out, like for instance, my mother's father's side is almost a third of southwestern Mississippi, right? But everybody that's on that land is not from his bloodline. But we got so many relatives down there, it don't matter. They can stay as far as we care.
okay,
Right. So when they go in there and say, okay, Hezekiah Johns had this much land, right? And all my cousins that my aunties had and my uncles go have a picnic. It'll be under either one of his wives' name or his name, right? He inherited the land from his mother and he refused to sell it, and then got one of his wives got tricked out of it after he died. Magnolia, Mississippi, Charlottetown, Mississippi, Macomb, Mississippi, Sunflower, Mississippi. All of that is built on what used to be my grandparents' land.
wow,
And it's a lot of land. And he had so much land that it took him 2 days to ride horse from one end to the other.
wow. So, but how is that going to work? So, do you have to present yourself to the government, and then they'll
Your
tell you?
family know who you is.
Okay.
Because when you go to a family reunion, what's the first thing somebody asks you? Who your mom?
Who your mama is?
Who your daddy?
Yeah.
Because we all know who our family is. We just forgot that our family came from somewhere central. So we had family reunions trying to keep the family in communication and contact so we could get it all back at the end.
So you don't need to do paperwork.
No, your family knows you need to know where your family farm is at. When everybody that traced their heritage back, you ain't gonna never find no slaves, but you're gonna find a sharecropper.
Oh, okay.
That's 9.9 out of 10 how we lost most of the land.
I heard you once say that the plantations were big. That was Big Mama's house. It wasn't the slave master.
They took Mama name off and called it the Big House. I couldn't understand that when I was little because I kept saying, "Man, they're like Big Mama house. Why they call it the Big House?" It wasn't the Big House. It was Big Mama house. There was a bunch of big houses all around the place. Uncle Jimmy's house was big. Uncle Charles' house was big. But Big Mama had Big Mama house. You always knew her house because she had these big ass pillars in front of it. Now, when you ride through the South, they tell you that's an old plantation house right there. That's what master them used to say, sleeping in your great grandmama bed.
Whoa. It made us hate the plantation, and that was our land.
That's the only way they can stop us from being able to feed ourselves off the land. They had to make us hate working the land, make us hate everything about our natural culture. Remember, most of the big mamas, they was widows by the time they was mid-30s.
Okay. Because they married.
Here come this Django looking nigga with this shiny ass suit. And all he want to do is get the land from under. What do you do?
Oh, he was a brother? Django made
Yeah.
music. Ah,
Okay, now this is what we used to call the house nigga. When you said we didn't like house niggas, this is why.
okay.
We married Big Mama. He poisoned her. We all suspicious that he did something to Big Mama. There's no way Big Mama supposed to die at 45, 50 years old.
Right.
Big Papa gone. He lived to be 130. He married Big Mama when she was 12 and he was 98. Now she lonely,
Yeah.
right? So here come this shiny suit wearing Django looking Negro with his bright smile, European nobility. With they was dressed like the nobles from Europe with the fluffy ass shirts and all that. That ain't how we used to dress.
Wow. Mm. Somebody said Moors versus Moors.
That's
M-U-U.
what the war was. That was the George Washington challenge.
What was that? That was them against us?
Yeah, well, the goal was who was going to educate themselves above the condition.
Okay.
The righteous Moors or Moors and the dirty Moors. You got a lot of good guys that call themselves Moors because the misleading of the ones who brought the concept.
Okay.
Moor is an exonym. They didn't call themselves Moors. They was called Moors by the ones who was kicking them out of Europe.
Yeah. Okay.
But when they got over here, so they married Big Mama, poisoned her off, but what do they do next? They hire something called a management firm. Right? If you type in Dr. Benjamin Rush